My name is Autumn. This is Texas Tarot. So I'm gonna be doing a kind of like an advice, like spirit messages type of reading. It'll be timeless, so just another video to click on whenever you see it. But yeah, I got 3 decks here, Oracle decks. I'm gonna start with one of the Moonology ones first. Okay. Okay, so the first card that we have is look at the bigger picture. And then I'm gonna do 2 more. And then you also have nothing will come of this situation and expect powerful change. I feel like this is going to be kind of like a really kind of deep message. I feel like things aren't surface level anymore. Kind of like life is not surface level anymore for whoever I'm talking to. It's like kind of clicked recently that I don't know, I feel like you hit a certain age, where you start realizing, why like older people did what they did, at certain ages. You wake up with back pains, they're always like, oh, get good healthcare coverage and stuff, shit like that. And you kind of just like, who cares? Or they get home and they sit down all day in their work clothes and they just have a beer or something like that, which that's totally different. I'm just saying, you're just like, damn, how do you do that every day? It's just, you kind of keep going, and then like, you hit a certain age where you just get tired, like super tired. I feel like a lot of things weigh on us. We just get super tired, and then things get they feel more real, You think about how you're wasting your days, sitting in the house, and how you have time, you're just wasting it, Because life is kind of like an inevitable demise, if you think about it, because we're all headed one way. All of us, we're all headed one way, not the same way, but in different ways. We're headed one way, So I feel like sometimes we get caught in the depression of that, that we lose the fact that we're not, getting out there and experiencing things and just playing it small, either because we're scared, we're too comfortable. And the comfortable feeling is like, okay, I come home to this every day, I do this every day, it's my job every day, whatever, life every day, that's when you become ungrateful too, and you start affecting, people around you. But just in general, because it can make you very unhappy, a very unhappy person. That's why I feel like a lot of the older people sometimes I met in my life are like that, just a little unhappy. It sucks. Sometimes they're also very fucking tired because, for one, they're older, they have more experience than us. But that's what you're kind of understanding, that it can feel like that. I will say, whoever that was for made me really sad, feeling like super sad, So that's why I do what I do, because I can relate. I feel like I live in this constant state of realization that I'm alive, like every second of my life, which is really hard because you have to balance being thankful and happy, giving thanks. Because what I teach is I'm not religious, and I would say I'm spiritual, Maybe not over the top, you know, but I mean, I guess it just comes out of me. I don't know. I can't really deny that. But I'm not really against anything, and I don't persuade anybody. I just show people what I do, what I believe in. If you want to follow me, then that's you. The way I see it is that there is a creator, whether you want to call it God or just spirit or the universe, you know, whatever fits for you. But I just want people to know that there is something, you know, because something I always say is like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? And people are like, oh, you know, let me Google it, or they just decide to pick which one. But the real question is, who put it there? Who put the chicken and the fucking egg there, right? I kind of see it as like Minecraft, you know. You ever play Minecraft? They spawn in Steve, and to make like a crafting table, he needs like sticks and or even to make an axe, he needs like cobblestone and sticks. You know, the point is that the creator made those things for him to create that, you know. So it doesn't matter what humans create. I feel like it's super confusing, you know. Shit is foretold. Some, you know, you do have free will. It's so. Point is that everything came from one thing. I feel like, you know, but it doesn't have to be so one way. You know, the universe is huge. There's fucking endless possibilities. But I do believe in the Bible and stuff like that. Like, you know, those people were real and things like that occurred. I mean, can't deny that. The next set of cards you have Pray. You have Archangel Metatron. This is actually geometric shit right here. What he's holding up is the vehicle of the human body, which is our, you know, vessel that our soul travels through. So I feel like if you're into angels, you should really call on Archangel Metatron usually. I think his number is 1111. So if you've been seeing 1111, then this reading is probably for you. Next one is Divine Purpose. So maybe somebody that I'm talking to is super spiritual and I'm saying something that you probably needed to hear. We also have Pray. You know, pray, be thankful, pray also for people, other people. You know, I feel like religion, you know, I meet a lot of people that have had like religion shoved down their throats. You know, it can be a little toxic, you know, in the way that it's not inviting. You know, that's really what I mean when I say toxic. It's not inviting. And it's real strict in one way, you know, and I'm not being against it. I'm all for it. You know, I'm here to hear you and, you know, be with you, you know, and to hear you. If it doesn't align with me, it's not for me, you know. As long as you believe in what you believe in and you believe in something, that's okay. As long as you're not hurting anybody, you know, at the end of the day. You know, but I feel like things like this, in a way to depict love is to be unconditional and inviting no matter what, you know, so... Not that I'm teaching anything specific, but I want people to feel that way, you know, when I get to them. And that's just me. You know, I don't really care about anyone else's opinion or any other way you think I should be doing it. That's how I'm going to do it, you know. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be watching me right now if I wasn't so open, you know, or, you know, just in general. It sucks to have people that are a little judgmental, which I'm not saying they are. I'm just saying in general, right? No one wants to come to someone that, you know, you can't really express yourself to. But I relate to a lot of things. So anyways, you have Pray, Archangel Metatron, or Divine Purpose. This is your life, you know, to be, you know, tapped into something or to be connected to something, or just maybe you're trying to understand life, you know, things are getting to you, maybe life circumstances, you know, we all come across tragedy. Always have a brain fart, because I start, like, when the video ends, I'll start watching the last video that I had, and it starts from the beginning, so I get... Anyways, yeah, maybe, you know, you're empathic, you know, I feel like we all could be empathic, you know, we all could be that way. I feel like I'm talking to someone very sad for the world or something, wishing you could do more. Maybe your circumstances don't allow you to be free to live your life, and or, you know, maybe something's stopping you from being truly happy, you know. But I feel like with everything going on, you know, that really depicts how we all feel, you know, super trapped, like in a hamster wheel of our jobs, just feeling like we're not doing enough, you know. I'm gonna move on to the next day, but I'm gonna keep these cards here. So, somebody that I am talking to, specifically, you are seeing numbers, colors, signs, your radio in the morning, your radio in the afternoon. You're seeing words on stop signs. People are saying certain things. It's leading up to something where it's like, that's just a coincidence, which I never really heard anybody say that, because it's really just suspicion, you know? If you're really watching, you don't say anything. You just see it, you know? So watch for the signs. Maybe you have been seeing, which I'm seeing obviously in this card, a butterfly. So maybe you've been seeing shit like that, you know, butterflies, whatever. You know, a certain symbol that's like, seen that too many times. Somebody said something about it too many times. It's making me question it. You know, you also have synchronicity. Like I said, you also might be seeing numbers, and once you see a certain number, it will switch that number. And you'll see that number throughout the day, and then it'll switch again. You'll see a different number throughout the day. So pay attention. You also have transformation. See, and then in this deck right here, that all three different decks, you have powerful change, divine purpose, and you have transformation. Transformation and powerful change are like the same to me, you know? So I think it's cool. And then this one, you have nothing will come in this situation, Archangel Metatron, synchronicity. I feel like in due time, life will make sense, and you're being... Okay. I'm going to pull some more, but I'm going to continue to keep reading these. But you have watch for signs, synchronicity, and transformation. So I feel like it's very clear that who I'm talking to, I always try to like downplay that I'm like, you know, because what I'm trying to say is, I'm talking to someone that's like super tapped in. You're noticing a lot of stuff, you know, you're super spiritual. I should just know that I have a lot of y'all on my page, you know, and not trying to downplay the fact that it could not be these things. When it's basically kind of like magic in a sense, I would say. And I need to just stop denying that altogether, because I see that shit in my life, you know. So I don't think I'm gonna just, you know, kind of push it away. It's real. Stuff like that's real. 10:44 on the clock, you know. I just feel like we're all connected to something. If you're really watching, you'll really notice. This is for someone who is noticing, and you think you're alone. You're not. You know, there is a suspicion to life. You know, there's more to it, you know, than just what we're stuck in. That's becoming apparent, you know, more and more every day, at least to you anyways, which is cool. I'm going to pull some of these Archangel messages for you, just to end it off, because I don't want to leave it like that. But yeah, I'm kind of glad that I got to say that message. That was pretty cool, because that's kind of what I usually tell people when they first meet me, when I like, you know, tell them who I am and what I do. I feel like I kind of didn't get to say that on camera when I first started. I mean, but I say that anyways. But it's cool to have a video where I can kind of, you know, help you guys like relate to me. You know, especially with, you know, whoever this is for. Like I said, somebody super spiritual. I mean, it's obviously a spirit message. So hopefully it helps you, makes you feel seen, because sometimes I don't feel seen and I don't feel heard. It fucking sucks, you know. Okay. The first card we have is Clear Cognizance. I hate that word. I literally fucking hate saying this shit. Anyway, this says Archangel Uriel, pay attention to the thoughts and ideas that come to you as they are answered prayers. Are you listening? Are you listening? Pay attention to the thoughts and ideas that come to you. So basically what having this power is that you have ideas and thoughts, and that, you know, kind of spark you into doing something, you know, start something new, which are not sometimes like they're out of the blue, so they're not you, which is really cool. You know, it gives you motivation, helps you, you know, something is helping you with your life path. And I think there's a full moon coming, right? Because it says, notice how the moon affects your energy and manifestations, and capitalize upon these cycles. So you'll notice, because I also, you know, do astrology a little bit. people don't like that sometimes because they're like, oh, I don't believe in that. That's fine, because it's not that, oh, you know, you just because you're a Capricorn or something like that, or you're a Virgo or something like that, you have to be so one way. You have other stuff in your chart that, you know, that makes you you. Just some of those things that are said are just basically like potentials, you know, that could affect you or could actually be challenges. So you might not be all fiery like your fire sign. Like you're a fire sign, you're not super fiery. You know, you're real quiet. You know. Anyways, what I'm saying is, just like that, you know, like when we have retrograde and stuff like that, moons also are the same way. Like when we have full moons, you know, have you noticed people are like, oh, it's a full moon. Everybody's acting fucking crazy on this Friday night. You know, everybody's driving crazy. You know, come on. Shit like that. So if you want to get into the moon cycles, you can. And you also have comfort. It says Archangel Azrael. It says, I'm with you in your time of need, helping your heart to heal. So maybe just, you know, maybe life is a hard pill to swallow. You know, life is definitely a hard pill to swallow, and someone feels alone about it, you know? And you're not really alone, but also don't spend too much time dwelling about it, you know, because you're gonna waste time manifesting goals in your life while you have the time. Because if you weren't here, where would you be? If you weren't here, I'm sure the camera angle changed like 20 times, because the light is like irritating me, so I move it every time the camera goes off the video. Damn, but I literally forgot what I was saying. Oh, maybe you feel like alone, you know, learning this information, you know, about life. That's what makes life bittersweet. You know, it's like if you weren't here, where would you be? You know, where would you be at, you know, for your kids? Where would you be at for, you know, your best friend, your dog, your cat, something small? In those small moments, because you kind of think because you're laying in bed, you know, doing nothing and stuff like that, oh, you're just wasting your life away. Be thankful for stuff like that, that your life is calm and still, and that there's no noise going on. Even if you feel a little, which it's hard, it's super fucking hard to beat. Life anxiety is super, super hard. But be thankful in those moments, at least try to, or try and get up and do something and move to help your anxiety. But, you know, maybe it's hard, you know, like swallowing the pill of life. Realizing that, you know, that you're a human and your time is very limited, which is okay. It's okay. Like I said, if you weren't here, where would you be? Be thankful that you're alive and that you are you. Maybe you spawned it in life, had a terrible time, you feel like. But we're all important to somebody and we all need each other. So just know that you're not alone. You know, feeling like this, it does suck. You know, we can't really beat that. But what beats it is, you know, being around people, you know, being with like, you know, your friends, your family, people that make you laugh. Just because you have to go to work tomorrow don't mean you got to go to bed at 8 p.m. every night. You know what I'm saying? Just get some good sleep, plan it out, go out, you know, you know, on your work night. It's okay. Make sacrifices for yourself. Obviously don't overdo it, but do stuff that is worth your while and that makes you happy. If you've been putting shit off, you know, for yourself, please do it. Obviously don't go haywire, you know, spending your money, keep shit on track, which sucks. I hate to say that because we can't just live our lives freely, do what we want, and not have to worry about that, but we have to. But just make little small sacrifices, you know, for yourself, you know, make yourself happy. But I hope that my message, you know, helps somebody tonight. Maybe this is what you've been needing to hear, or I don't know, somebody addressed it. But I'm glad I finally said something or was able to do a reading like this. I usually want to do one like this, but I just feel like I'm usually silencing myself for some reason, the shit that I have to say. But thank you guys so much. I love you. Please like my video. Please like my video. Okay, guys, I love you so much.